What is up, fantasy football fools? We are back. Had to take a week off, but we are back and better than ever. Probably just the same as ever. But this week we got 2 mini games to talk about because we missed last week. So we're going to do a mini game for week 8 and a mini game for week 9. So yeah, with further ado, let's get into it so we can get into these games.
All right, it doesn't look like me or you have any names on week 8, and I have one in week 9. So you have nothing to root for this episode, right?
Yeah. Well, that's okay because I won last week.
All right, so week 8, here we go. 1 through 7. Let's see who wins.
That's a 2.
3.
2, 3. 2, 3, 2. Wow. Quick win. James. Wow.
I think him and somebody else tied for this one, but I think they both also lost, and I think James had the more points. So that was a weird one I had to do. I don't know if it was Jeff or somebody else, but I do remember having to do some calculations on that one. So then we'll just delete that. Oops. Okay.
Excel professional over here.
All righty. So then we will go to week 9, which will be 1 through 6. And this doesn't count. I like to start with 1 as my first number. Just a little bugaboo of mine.
Just the number 1 doesn't win, which is you.
Number 1 is not going to win because it's not. Okay, there we go. Okay. So.
Here we go. Roll us up.
9. 3.
2. 1.
Okay, give me another 1. 6.
6.
What?
No way, dude. No way. This shit is fucking rigged, bro. This guy wants to start on 1 and then gets the 1. Put your comments in the chat under this podcast and talk about how this shit is rigged. Hashtag this shit is rigged.
We didn't see 1 for the longest time on the first thing.
That is insane.
Man, I might just do my whole buy-in on this mini game.
Man, this guy. Come on, guys. Hashtag this shit is rigged. We all know it.
No way. It's all random.
Somebody checked her credentials, calculator.net. Random number generator, because I got some questions.
All right. So it's just I'm the best at that game. There's really nothing you can say that will prove otherwise. So it's not really – it's just you got to get better at the game. That's all. That's all I got to say. But we will go to week 9. Week 8 we won't talk about, but we'll start with week 9. And we'll start with Matt and Rudy's game, which I think was the lowest scoring game this week. No, Jimmy and Dom had pretty much the same identical score. But, yeah, so what do you think about this matchup? How do you think these two fared against each other?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. Rudy's team not looking the greatest. I mean, the guy is just struggling to put up a ton of points. Pat Mahomes has been on a bit of a downward spiral. I need to move this. I can't see. But he has just not been performing at the level that he usually does. He put up a pretty low score versus me, and now we got a 10 this week. And I don't know what he put up last week. But, yeah, I mean, this is just tough for Rudy to see. I'm sure Pat Mahomes was somebody that he traded Dak for. So right now, probably not loving that trade. But hopefully he can turn things around. I mean, he does have 2 tight ends playing every week, I think. So yeah, I mean, things just seem all bad for Team Rudy over here. What do you think of this team?
Yeah, I mean, bad team. Kenneth Gainwell didn't get a single point till his 1 yard or 3 yard touchdown. He had 1 carry for 6 yards. Oh, no, that was projection. What did he have? He had 2 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown. I think that was a fourth quarter touchdown. So he got really lucky, even though that really didn't matter. He didn't really have a shot to win. But yeah, I mean, I said it in the power rankings. I'll say it. I said it 2 weeks ago. I said it 3 weeks ago. This team is just not good. Some of his trades did work. I don't even know if any of his trades really worked out because Mahomes has struggled since getting on Rudy's team, and Miles Sanders sucked. But Calvin Ridley's not playing, so I don't know if you'd rather have Calvin Ridley, who doesn't play, or Miles Sanders, who is just not good. But he does get Tyler Lockett back. Well, he doesn't get him back, but he gets Russell Wilson back, which will pretty much get Tyler Lockett to be kind of a boom-worthy guy. He could probably drop 30 this week on Mubasi, which I hope he does. But yeah, just not a great team. And another team I was really low on was Matt's team. Dak didn't have really a good game. The whole Cowboys didn't have a good game, but he got some garbage time TDs. But I mean, Matt's team doesn't really scream playoff team to me. And I did say this. I wonder how you feel about this. I did call Antonio Gibson a bust this year. I don't know. What do you feel about that? Do you think I was right, or is that a little far stretch from three bad games?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he had a string of 3 decent games, and then he had a string of 3 bad games. I don't know. Maybe a bust compared like for where he was drafted and where people were taking him. I would say definitely. So yeah, maybe, but who knows if this is just a slump. I don't know. That Washington offense just kind of sucks. I have Terry McLaurin on that offense too. I know. It's just not a great offense. And I think that definitely inhibits him. And I also heard on a podcast not too long ago that he's been playing with a stress fracture as well. So that is not ideal, obviously. But yeah, I mean, Matt's team, I think, started off kind of strong, but I think he got kind of lucky on a few of those first matchups. And I mean, ever since then, he just hasn't looked super strong. So I don't know. I hope he doesn't make the playoffs because he's in my division. I got to play him again, and I fully expect to beat him out.
Yeah, I called Gibson a bust and Allen Robinson a bust, and I feel like you could just take any of his wide receivers and call him a bust, maybe except Antonio Brown. But Robbie Anderson has not been good this year. T. Higgins has let's see how T. Higgins has been doing this year. I'm not really too sure about him. And not too bad. He was drafted 5th round. Oh, yeah, he's drafted pretty high. So I don't think that's 5th round numbers. I think you can maybe not a bust, but really lower than expectation. And then Bateman, he just came back from injury. I think he just picked him up off waivers. But all of his wide receivers have not been great. But, I mean, we'll see what he can do. Najee's been a number 1 running back. He was drafted, I think, 13th or 14th pick or first, second round pick, which was a really good pick. He's been a workhorse, 2nd round, yeah, and he's the number 6 overall running back, so that was a really good pick and a really good call by Matt. But, yeah, this team just doesn't scream out to me playoffs, and Rudy's already eliminated, so this definitely doesn't scream out playoffs. But we'll go to Dom and Jimmy's team or game, and this one was another low-scoring game, and Dom edged it out, which is bad for us. And I think Jimmy kind of screwed himself over by playing Jordan Love. But I did pick Jordan Love in daily, so it wasn't a bad matchup. It's just Jordan Love just didn't look good.
No, he kind of sucked. Dom gets pretty lucky here. Puts up an 89, still gets a dub. You got to love that. I've had a couple of those this season myself. But yeah, just kind of a poo-poo fest here, kind of like the last game. Not a ton of points put up on the board. Jimmy had a tough start at quarterback with Aaron Rodgers out. I mean, Jordan Love, like I said, he sucked. And then after Melvin Gordon, he's got a lot of single digits on the team, especially one from Devontae Adams, but that kind of ties in with the Jordan Love. So he kind of lived and died by the Packers offense on that one. Tyreek Hill, kind of along with Patrick Mahomes, dude. He just has not been great. Maybe you're feeling pretty good about that trade because he just has not been putting up crazy numbers. And then Robert Woods had a pretty decent game. But, yeah, I mean, Jimmy's team just kind of falls flat here. I don't know. I mean, I really wish he would have pulled it out because, like you said, I mean, Dom's in the playoff hunt here. Definitely name value. His team concerns me a little bit more, but Dom has not been putting up, I feel like, a ton of points this year.
Yeah, I mean, looking at his team, Marquise Brown, I said in the rankings that he was probably the sleeper of the year. I don't know if he fell into Dom's lap. I should ask him about that because I wonder if he just picked him to pick him or if he was actually targeting him. But he was I think he's the number 5 wide receiver this year. I think I said, yeah, number 5. Beautiful pickup. But he's picking up the slack of CeeDee Lamb, who has not been that great for where he was drafted. I called him a bust preseason, and I wouldn't say he's a bust right now, but he hasn't looked all that great. And then Chase Claypool just is not consistent enough, but he also had Godwin and Brady on the bench on a bye. So he gets those guys back. I know he plays Jeff this week. I think he pulls out. I hope Jeff wins, but I think with Brady and Godwin on a bye, I think the Buccaneers just mollywop who they play. I think they play the football team.
Yeah, and like you mentioned in the power rankings, I believe it's officially time to say that Mr. Jimmy has been eliminated from playoff contention. We wish you the best of luck in the race not to get last place. You got some competition down there. The end of the season is going to be pretty interesting. I'm excited to see how that plays out. But yep, tough loss here for Jimmy. It sucks that Aaron Rodgers goes out. And he has to start Jordan Love, but that's kind of the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy had a weird. I wouldn't say, I don't know, maybe not weird is not the good word, but I'm going to say weird. He had a weird, go around this season. I mean, he has very good wide receivers. He has Adams, Hill, Robert Woods, and he has Hopkins on the bench who he just traded for maybe a week or two ago. And he was really riding the wide receivers to pull him through, getting out of this losing streak. And it's just a weird way of going about it. He doesn't have bad running backs. I mean, if he plays Connor, he wins this game. But I don't know. It's just a weird, like I said, weird isn't the right word, but it's just an odd way of going about this season. And I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about that?
No, I don't know. I mean, he had some tough luck with some tough matchups at the beginning of the year and a couple bad starts here and there. But no, I mean, tough break for Jimmy, but I guess better luck next year. And like I said, good luck. Hopefully you don't get last. I'm pulling for you.
All right, we'll go to the next game, which was probably the rivalry of the year, or rivalry game of the year. We got Lubasi versus Ryan, and it was a very close game. Actually, you know what? This game really wasn't all that close until the 4:00 game started when Justin Herbert started to play, and then Matt Gay started to hit field goals, and Van Jefferson wasn't getting any looks and dropping every pass that was thrown to him. But this was really not a close game during the 1:00. Lubasi really had a handle on you, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I had a receiver that put up a 1.6, another receiver that put up a 3.4, and a defense that put up a 1. So I definitely was not off to a hot start at the beginning of the day. Real tough week here. I pissed away the win because Elijah Mitchell was questionable all week. And they said that even if he was going to play, that they weren't sure how much he was going to play. And so that scared me into starting Tyler Boyd in my flex. And obviously, worst decision I made. It lost me the game. But you know what? It sucks to see, but it is what it is. We're going to use this to learn from and build. I made a trade. We can get into that later. And we're gonna try and keep chugging forward. Lubasi had a pretty down week, and I still couldn't edge him out. So congrats to him, but I still think that I'm going to beat you in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, Lubasi had a pretty bad, I wouldn't say bad week. Mixon kind of carried him, but Josh Allen with the lowest score of the year, and that whole Bills offense did not look good against the Jacksonville D, which is weird to say, actually.
Yeah.
But he did have Swift on a bye, and then he didn't play Devontae Smith. I wonder why he did not play Smith. He chose Van Jefferson for some reason. But, I mean, hindsight's 2020. But Lubasi gets the win, moves to 5-4 winning record. And that was a big win for him to keep up with Chris and Chewy, which we'll get into their game. But first, we'll go into James and Jeff's game, which James won. I really wasn't following this game too candidly, but I mean, Lamar Jackson, that game went into overtime, got you a 30 ball. He did play Khalil Herbert with a 1.3 with David Montgomery back. I guess he could have played Devin Singletary. But anyway, he got the win. Cooper Kupp did well. Is he the number one wide receiver this year? Yep, yes. Number one wide receiver. Great pickup by James. I wish I would have got him. Yeah, James, I mean, two guys who are in the bottom of each division or out of Chewy's division. So really not too much to say. Jeff had some good starts, but wasn't enough for James. What are your thoughts on this game, if you have any?
Yeah, it was good to see Jeff. It's good to see Jeff actually putting up some points. I mean, he had like 3 or 4 weeks in a row with like 60s or 70s. So at least he's putting up some points now. He's still catching L's. A tough intro into the new league. We did warn him at the beginning that this wasn't the patty cake, cupcake, sponge cake league. So no strawberry shortcake in here. Jeff is now with Jimmy in the officially eliminated from playoff contention category. So, hey, study up this summer, Jeff, and come back next year ready to play. But, yeah, this is just a good win from James. He needed his team to come through for this one. You definitely don't want to take it out of the Memorial Hospital. That's not what you want to do when you're still kind of trying to fight for a playoff spot, which James is kind of right on that bubble. So this was a big win for him. Jeff, I'm sorry, but that's tough, man. Jeff did have a lot of injuries this year. Like we saw like some pretty crazy injury occurrences going on. And it was all started off by you and Jeff's the week 1 matchup when he thought he had it in the bag. And then you just came out of nowhere and take the dub. That kind of just set the tone for Jeff's season right off the bat. And, hey, we're happy to have you in the league, though. And like I said to Jimmy as well, we wish you luck in the race to not finish last.
Yeah, I think Jeff has the worst team going into like a playoff format with that. But, you never know. He did have a good start with Pat. It was a good pickup for the tight end. He does get Logan Thomas back, I think, pretty soon. And I think Gronk is coming back after the bye, if I'm not mistaken either. So he's going to have like 3 tight ends he could play. But, yeah, this was we're going to the matchup of the week record-wise, both 7-1 teams. Chris was a little banged up, so I think everyone expected Chewy to win. And as the power rankings stated for me, I don't think Chris actually makes the playoffs. I think all his injuries with James Robinson, Derrick Henry, and his other Chase Edmonds is now hurt for a couple, or probably more than. I think he has a high ankle sprain, so that's probably like a 3-4 week injury. I think Chris is going to fall off the wagon a little bit. He does make a trade with you to get a running back, but I don't think it's enough. Chewy just kind of steamrolls this game, and he is 8-1, and he looks to be the favorite to win it all again this year. He's going to go back-to-back if he does.
Yeah, well, we're going to hope that doesn't happen. I don't want to hear that. I definitely do not want this team to go back, mostly because I want to have a shot at this, and this is going to be a huge game for me this week because I do play Chewy. And I told him a couple days ago that I think if I beat him this week, then I kind of signed my ticket into the playoffs. That might be a little bold statement, but I'll feel pretty good if I can catch this dub against him. But yeah, I definitely think he's probably got the scariest team. It doesn't really look like it this week. Had some low scores, but he did have a couple buys. I know Russell Wilson's going to be coming back this week too. And I guess Leonard Fournette was the only buy, but still. So Russell Wilson coming back this week. He's got, David Montgomery's going to be on a bye, but he does have him coming back now off IR the week following. So, I mean, this team doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down. He's definitely making the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. I mean, last year, Chewy was kind of like not that good, made the playoffs, and then got really good. So maybe this year he'll be like really good into the playoffs and then fizzle out at the end. I don't know.
Yeah, Jimmy and Joey had the top teams last year. I don't know who the fourth guy was, but yeah, Chewy was the third seed, I think. No, he had to be the fourth seed. No, he had to be third seed because Jimmy played the fourth seed. So, anything can happen in the playoffs if you just get there. 2 weeks usually makes the better team win, but anything can happen. You just got to get hot. And one guy that's really, I ate my words on this guy, Jonathan Taylor, has been the number 2 running back. I wonder who's the number 1 running back. But even the number 2 running back this year. Is it Derrick Henry?
Yeah, like by a long shot.
It isn't. Yeah. Well, he's not going to be the number 1 after probably next week because Jonathan Taylor will probably surpass him in points. But yeah, very good pick. I think he was he was second round by Chewy. I actually almost picked him instead of Tyreek Hill, but I wanted a wide receiver to pair with my running back with Chubb. And I really didn't even like Jonathan Taylor to start the year anyway. So it's kind of an easier decision on me. But Jonathan Taylor has been the second best running back this year so far. Kudos to him, and he is on track to win the rushing title this year now that Henry is hurt. And then we'll go
not least.
Yeah, then we'll go to mine and Johnny's team. This game was a fun game. I was with Ryan Sunday for the 1:00 games, and me and Johnny had a pretty tight game. Browns started off the game with a pick 6 for like 99 yards. And it was looking bad for me at that time. But I don't know what time this happened, but in a stretch of period, I had Chubb go for a 70-yard touchdown, and then literally 2 minutes later, I got a pick 6 from the Patriots, and that's what really kind of catapulted me over Johnny this week. Just a good game by my team, except for Kadarius Toney and Stafford really had a down game, but he still got me 13, so that's not too bad. Kadarius Toney's probably seeing the bench the rest of the year. I think I actually might have dropped him. I don't know. Somebody else can have him. Good game. I'm 3-6, so I'm like James. I have a really slim chance of making the playoffs if I win out. I think I still need some stuff to happen, even if I do win out. But there's still hope. I'm not eliminated, and I do have a scary team going forward. I get Christian and Nick Chubb back. Well, Nick Chubb actually has COVID right now, but Dearness Johnson can do well without him. But I like I said with James too in the power rankings, I would not want to play mine or James's team if I'm really vying for a playoff spot, because we do have really good teams, and Johnny kind of ran into that. He did have some buys this week, DK and TJ, but I mean, just kind of ran into, I think I was at the highest point total this week. I was. Wow, 112 did it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We had 2 people over 100 points. That's crazy.
That was like the same thing last week. Podcast we did, it was like the same thing. I think I had the highest score, like 109.
Wow.
Yeah, teams have definitely slowed down a little bit since the beginning of the season when people were dropping like 150s and 170s. Like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, a good game here by you. I'm super happy about this because I needed that Johnny loss. I really appreciate that. If Dom would have lost too, man, that would have been freaking icing on the cake.
Perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, tough week for Johnny. He just barely misses the 100 mark threshold, but even if he hit it, wouldn't have got him the dub. So yeah, congrats on the win. You had some pretty solid performances. Justin Jefferson, Nick Chubb, McCaffrey, Matt, all these double digit. Your defense getting a 20 spot is pretty good, even though his defense did the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a few buys, Kyler and DK. That's a tough hit or not. Wait, Kyler was injured. That's right.
Yeah, he was
those are tough though, and he had to start Evan Ingram, but I guess at least he got good. He got a good score out of him. Jamar Chase has kind of been slowing down a little bit. I don't know. Johnny's team's looking a little bit less scary by every week that goes by, I feel like.
Yeah, and Thielen actually had 0 for, I think, the whole first half, and then he kind of got a couple. I think he actually got a touchdown.
He did get a touchdown because we were watching that. It was like a 3-yard touchdown.
Yeah, so he only had two receptions, and I think the touchdown came in the fourth quarter. So he really wasn't doing much the whole game. But yeah, I think I don't know who Johnny plays next week, but I need Johnny, you, Dom, Matt, Lubasi, and Chris to lose from here on out. I want Chewy to go undefeated. So he kind of beats everybody he plays, because I need those guys in the middle to lose and lose often. Before we get into your trade, we can just quickly look at the standings. So here are the standings. We got playoff percentage, 0% for people who are eliminated. And me and James are with the 1 percentile, so very unlikely, but still a chance.
Wow, I have the highest percentage in my division right now.
You do, which is, I don't know how they do this odds, but we'll go to points 4. We got James, which is this is tough for James because he has the highest point total. So I don't think I was the highest point total last year, but I think I was top 3, and I had a 5-8 record. It sucks, but at least you drafted a very good team, but that really doesn't get you any money, which kind of sucks as well.
Yep, exactly.
But then, yeah, so we got those points. Got you kind of in the tail end with Matt as well, who are in playoff contention.
I'm barely behind Jimmy.
Points against, which you are leading the pack on that. And then we got James and Jimmy. And
team defense.
Yeah, the 1,100 already for Jimmy, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Division record, this is maybe why you are ahead of your division. You're 4-1. I guess Matt's still ahead of you.
We're tied.
Oh. Yeah, you're tied. That's what I meant. Yeah, 4-1 for Matt. He's done pretty good in the division. Who's your division loss?
Matt.
Was it Matt?
Which I should have won. I always go back to that stupid fucking first game where my quarterback goes down in the 3rd drive.
Oh, was that? Okay, that was Matt. That was the first
Yeah,
game.
that was Matt. That was my first game of the season.
All right, so then for the ending of the podcast, we will just get into this trade. We've actually had a couple of trades we haven't talked about. We didn't really discuss the D-Hop trade, but we won't get into that right now. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, recent activity. So we got a trade. And one thing I want to talk about is with trading, I'll probably actually post this on Facebook as well, probably once the podcast gets posted. We are not going to be trading with anybody who is eliminated from playoff contention. So you cannot trade anymore with Jeff, Jimmy, or Rudy. They can trade with each other, I guess, if they really want to. But like Chewy can't trade with Jimmy just because we're going to keep it fair. And so that doesn't mean like Jimmy could give him one of his best players for Chewy for nothing, even though that would get caught anyway. But just to keep it fair, I think that's fair. And no need to trade with people who are out of contention. We'll go to Ryan and Chris's trade, Elijah Mitchell for Michael Pittman. Why don't you talk about your thought process on this one?
Yeah, I knew that I have probably one of the weakest wide receiver cores in the league. I kind of been feeling a little bit desperate for a wide receiver. I just can't seem to get points out of that position. And I kind of had an abundance of running backs. I got Chris Carson coming back. I got Michael Carter, who's emerging. I had Elijah Mitchell. And, I was like, I know Chris needs a running back because he just lost Derrick Henry. I really need a receiver. Michael Pittman's been on fucking fire. And that was kind of the end of that. What did you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the teams, it definitely fills a need for both teams. Elijah Mitchell actually has been very good for when he actually gets the touches, and I know he's just kind of banged up. But I think that's a really good get for Chris. And I said in Chris's little blurb on the power rankings is was that Michael Pittman was a very good get for him in the trade with James. He has 5 touchdowns in 5 games, 2 of them being in the same game and 1 having no touchdown in the other game. But, yeah, he's been a really good wide receiver. So I think it fits needs for both teams. I don't think it catapults you guys either. I don't think it catapults either of you to playoff contention, because I think the 4 guys I put in the playoffs are Chewy, Lubasi, Johnny, and Dom. So I don't know if this really catapults you. It gives you a better chance, but I don't know if it's – I don't know. Your division is a little tougher to do. I don't know if Johnny's actually going to come out in that 4th spot, but it could be you or Matt. Just really depends on who can emerge these next couple weeks.
Dude, I think I play Dom again.
Oh, do you?
I think I might. So if that's the case, maybe I don't. No, I can't remember. I just looked at this.
Yeah, last game of the year.
Last game. Yeah, which is probably going to be a huge game. And I also if I can come off this win if I can just come off this win against Chewy, just have a great week and beat him, then I got 2 should be secure dubs after that, and then 2 fights that I'll probably be in at the end of the season. So I definitely think this trade is going to make my team a little bit better. Like I said, I had options at running back, so I don't think I'm going to be hurting there. And my receivers just weren't doing enough.
Yeah, like I said, it does get the needs for both teams. You do have a pretty tough schedule. You gotta go 2-0 against Matt and Jimmy, though.
Oh yeah,
Matt's going to be. If you lose to Matt, that might be trouble.
First thing I need to do is sneak a win by Chewy.
Yeah, but just your division games. But yeah, you need to win out basically if you really want to secure the. You win out, you get the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I can afford one more loss too. I told you guys that in the group chat.
Yeah.
All right.
Dom still has Chewy, Johnny. Yeah, Dom's got a pretty tough schedule after Jeff. Jeff should be an easy win. But yeah, hopefully Jeff can sneak Dom a loss, and that will be good for everybody.
Oh yeah, Dom does have a pretty tough schedule at the end. Wow. Yeah, so this is gonna be a fun end of the season. I'm excited to see how everything plays out. Good luck to all the teams that are still in the playoff hunt, the hunt for the Delta Cup. Wish everybody luck there. And like I said, I wish all the guys that are out good luck in your race not to get last and lose that pit hair. Do you have any closing remarks for the squad?
We do. I do not. Let's have a good week 10, and let's lay it all on the line.
We're going to lay it all out on the line like we're actually doing something, guys. All right, we will catch you guys next week for the Week 10 recap. Good luck out there this Sunday, except for
Dom.
You guessed it. No, wait, no. Except for Chewy. All right.
Too.
Peace.